handy kitchen tip. Always make sure you have an organized area for food prep and for
Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
Back in 2011, I made this silverware drawer organizer. This was my second design intended to improve on flaws that I had in my first design. I hope this is going to work out a lot better than my old one. It already seems a lot more organized. I'll let you know in a couple of years if this one turns out. But now that we've lived with this for 5 years and used it almost every single day, I want to address some problems that we continually have with it. The width of each compartment works out fine, but what I didn't factor into my design were the lengths. This design only has 2 lengths, the front and the back. As a result, there's a lot of wasted space with the smaller utensils, and we have some utensils that are just slightly too long to fit anywhere. So I hope the third time's the charm. I should be able to make this entire organizer using this one board. I need to resaw it down the middle. In order to do that, I'm gonna cut it into shorter lengths first. I'm cutting these into 2 pieces, a thick side for the frame and the thin side for the dividers. I'm gonna cut grooves in all of the boards to help me join everything together. I've put a couple of dado blades into my table saw. By the way, if you're cutting all the way through a board, never use the miter gauge in combination with the rip fence. It can pinch the board and cause kickback. Since the dado blades are only cutting halfway through these boards, this procedure is okay. Cutting all these grooves is very tedious. It's just a matter of taking careful measurements and taking my time. Before I glue this all together, I need to cut curves on each divider. Those are really important to help you get your fingers in there to pull out utensils. That was one of the problems with my first design. I didn't have those. To help me draw all those curves, I've cut a thin piece of oak with a string attached to it, and I can make kind of a bow. Once I've got the arc positioned about how I like it, I'll just tie this down. I'll use this block to elevate the bottom of the arc up a little. I labeled all the pieces on the end so it'd be easier for me to figure out what goes where. And I'll finish this with spray lacquer. Well, that turned out pretty nice. This is one of those instances where the handmade version is always going to be better than the store-bought version, just because drawers come in all different sizes. You can't buy a drawer organizer that will fit perfectly in your drawer. This week's episode is brought to you in part by Audible.com, the world's leading provider of premium digital spoken audio information and entertainment on the internet. This month I want to recommend The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, the Japanese Art of Decluttering by Marie Kondo. You may have already heard of this book. It's become something of a cult classic. Over the years, I've sort of developed a strategy that mostly includes two main things. One, getting rid of anything I haven't used in a couple of years, and two, avoiding establishing emotional or sentimental attachments to objects. Marie Kondo's book confirms and amplifies my approach. While organizers and storage solutions can help, the best way to eliminate the clutter is by being ruthless. Making this week's silverware organizer was a great opportunity for me to evaluate the junk in just that drawer. I ended up tossing out a bag full of utensils that we just never use. You can download The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up or any other book and get a 30-day free trial of Audible by going to audible.com/woodworking. Browse around, download your free book, and start listening. It's that easy. Well, I really hope this turns out to be the definitive version of my silverware drawer organizer. I guess if it isn't, you'll probably be watching a fourth version in 2020 or so. But so far it seems perfect. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to subscribe to Woodworking for Mere Mortals. I post new videos every Friday. Do you just love kitchen projects? Well, then click on the box on the left for lots more. Hey, I also want to introduce you to the newest member of the Home and Garden for Mere Mortals team, Heather from Diving Head First. She'll be contributing design and decorating tips for making the most out of small spaces. Click the box on the right to check out her first video for HGMM. And while you're there, subscribe to HGMM. We have 8 contributors and post 2 videos every week. We'd love to have your support. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next week.